Hi, thank you for joining me today with Jenny O. Young Nuggets and Things. Today we want to talk about just remaining silent. Sometimes it's a difficult thing to remain silent when you got something to say. You know you got something to say, and everything around you says, shh, don't say a word. Just remain silent. I found out that great wars was won during silence. You know, you can win many battles just being quiet. It doesn't mean you don't know anything. It doesn't mean you can't do anything. It just means, it ain't meant for you to say anything. I found that a lot of people are talking even when the mouth is moving. Just pay attention to that. Pay attention to the things that people are saying to you every single day, whether it's verbally or not. They're talking to you. And you can speak back without saying a word. There are times we just got to just remain with ourselves and just, take some meditation time. Meditating. You have to have everything around you quiet. Everything must remain, in silence. So you can hear. Because it's just as important it is for you to speak, it is more important for you to hear. To be able to listen. Listen. One of the things I'm working on, is teaching people how to listen. How to listen. Most people said, I heard you, but was you really listening? I know you heard me, but were you listening to me? I mean, did it get inside you? Did it make a point? Were you able to receive something from what I just said or what I just done? Because sometimes what people do, did you listen to it? They bring you a flower. Did you listen to that? They didn't say a word. But what they did was enough words sometimes makes you speechless. But learning how to be silent. And there is a time to be silent. There is a time that you must be quiet. You must not say a word. Your presence is enough. Don't have to say a word. I remember one time I went to court. It was a custody case that I was in. It wasn't for me, but in essence, I guess it was. I was in the process of getting 4 children in my custody. And the court, the other people were trying to take the children into their custody. And I was trying to hold on to these children until their mother came back. So, I went to court that day, and the lawyer looked at me. He said, you don't have to say a word. Don't say anything. We're not going to call you up. You don't have to say anything. I'm like, wow, I got to go to court. I ain't got to say anything. I said, okay, that was different. But I didn't. I didn't say a word. The lawyer spoke for me. And the judge looked directly at me and said, oh, yeah, you don't want this. And I never had to say a word. My presence was enough. Sometimes your presence is just enough. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to defend yourself. You know how so many times, well, I got to defend myself. No, you don't. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to be able to, speak a mumbling word. You don't have to nod your head. Your silence is enough sometimes. I had one of my children who hardly ever spoke. He didn't speak much. He always was a quiet child. And so when he did speak, you turned and you looked because you took notice because he didn't hardly speak. Sometimes the person who's always talking doesn't get recognized because they're always talking. It's like hush sometimes. Let somebody else talk. Let somebody else say something. Let somebody else feel important. Let somebody else, win that war. You could be in the middle of the classroom and you have the answers to every one of those questions, but you remain silent. Let somebody else get recognized. Let somebody else have a try at it. Let somebody else get the limelight. It doesn't make you any less. So what, they talked about you? So what, they lied on you? So what, they got the word out on you? It's all over the media. Who cares? You don't have to say a word. I'm telling you, time will justify you. Time will stand up for you because the truth always, always come to surface. And it'll fight for you. It'll fight your battle. Whatever it is. Sometimes, when we look at situations, we feel as though, well, I tell you what, I'm going to say this. So, nah, don't, you ain't got to say that. Many times I've been told, well, you ain't going to say nothing. I said, nah. Oh, so you ain't got nothing to say? Mm-mm. You said enough. Now, are you done talking? Yeah, I'm done saying. Okay, well, we good. We good then. You said what you need to say, and I heard every word you said because I'm a good listener. I'm a great listener. Trust it. I listen well. I listen deep. I'm listening. I'm listening to what you're not saying. That's what I tell people all the time. I say, what people say, sometimes, it just floats over my head. What they're not saying, that's what I'm listening for. Because sometimes people know what to say. It don't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's even real. But they know what to say. They know what you're looking for. So they give you that. But I don't want to hear that. I want to hear what you really got to say. What your heart talking about. What your heart saying to me. So I can be in an open forum. I don't care how many people's in that room. I don't have to say a word. But trust me, I am speaking loud. My presence is speaking for me. It is talking for me. It is making whatever stand it has to make. So much can be said in your silence. I know sometimes it may be difficult for you to be silent. Some of y'all, you're introverts. You don't say much anyway. Kudos to you. But to those of us who, we got something to say. I got something to say. Well, just don't say it. Let that one go. Take some days. And now there have been days that I would tell my children, I'm not taking calls. I'm not taking calls today. I'm not taking calls for the weekend. They said, well, Mama, you want me to tell them that you ain't home? I said, I never asked you to lie for me. You never would ever be asked to lie for me. Nah, I didn't ask you to say I ain't home. Just say I'm not taking calls. That's it. I don't owe nobody explanation why I'm not taking calls. Just say I'm not taking calls. Period. Point blank. Done. Because I need time to think. Reevaluate. Sometimes I just need time to reset. And when my silence comes, sometimes I'm just resetting. I'm just trying to put some things together in its right place so I can be able to think clearer and move better. I need to be able to move at a different way. I saw what just happened. I saw how that came out. So now I need to do it differently so that does not happen again. So I'm going to keep silent so I can hear the way I should move, what I should do, how I should react. Because it's going to come a time that I got to respond. And when that time comes for me to respond and reply, I need to make sure that what I'm saying is the right thing at the right time. There's nothing more painful than saying something to somebody at the wrong time and you can't take it back. Because it's gone now. It's gone. You done said it. Whether you said it verbally or whether you wrote it down, you have said what you had to say. Now it's out there. You can't change it. You can apologize for things, but those words, they stick, honey. They stick deep. That's why I tell people all the time, that little old saying we used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me, was a big lie, honey. Let me tell you something. Hit me with a stick. I'll have a bruise. I'll have some pain. I might have a memory of it, but good gracious, them words, sometimes them words will follow you for the rest of your life when it's hurtful. Hurtful things that people say to you, you'll never forget it most of the time. It's still there. Every once in a while, it'll surface to the top and say, you remember they said this about you? Remember that's how they really feel about you? And you go, yeah, that's true. That's true. But that time you got hit with that stick, well, it's somewhere over here. I mean, you're trying to find that spot. because you might not be exact, but you're exactly sure about what you heard. And people are exactly sure of what you said. So make sure what you say is what you mean to say at the time that you say it, to do what you want it to do. Because if you don't, it's going to come back and bite you somewhere, someday, at some time. So if you're not in practice, or you're not in a place, or you're not familiar with being silent, start. Take some days off that you ain't got to say nothing. You're on your job, you got to speak, hello, how you doing? But people go in idle conversations, you ain't got to take part in it. Things are happening here and there, you ain't got, you just, no response. Well, you're mighty quiet today. Oh, yeah. That's all. Oh, yeah. Because see, sometimes in your silence, oh, I'm telling you, not saying a word, you'll be surprised the things that are happening for you, the great things that are moving for you. Because you're not talking, don't think things ain't happening for you, because they are. People are still speaking for you. People will speak up for you in your silence. They still talking for you. You'd be surprised if people say, yeah, I ran to so-and-so today, and they went talking about you today, and I had to check them and tell them blasey, blasey, bam, bam, bam. You ain't had to say a word. Because you got people talking for you. Or somebody said, I was at the place at the expo the other day, and I was there, and I ran into so-and-so, and they said they need a speaker for this week. And I told them, I said, have you called my girl, Jenny Oya? Because she can do that. Oh, yeah. They speaking for you. You ain't said a word. Yeah. You go into a place and somebody's doing all the talking for you, and you don't even know it. People are working for you that you don't know. God knows that's the truth. I'm amazed sometimes at the many people who are working on my behalf, that are working for me, praying for me, setting up great lights and lighting candles and doing all great things for me, because they want to see me succeed. They want to see me go forward. They want to see me become everything that I said that I want to be. You'll be surprised of the people who are doing those things for you. Sometimes the people you think are going to do it ain't. I always remind myself, always be careful and be mindful of people who say they love you, but they're not applauding you when your light is on. When good things are happening for you, they're not clapping their hands, and they're not saying, oh, I'll be at the show. Oh, I'll buy the book. Yeah, make sure I get the single. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get one of those. Make a pair for me. Make sure you do it. Yeah, I'm going to bring my car to you. Yeah, they're not supporting you, and they could. They're telling you something. Listen. Listen. Yeah. People don't have to tell you how much they love you. You know. You're paying attention to them. They're showing you every single day how much they love you. Or don't. In your silence. Stop feeling like you got to always say something, or you need the last word, or you need to defend yourself, or stand up for yourself, or make this stand. Sometimes those stands are being made behind your back, and I'm telling you, they're doing better than what you could ever have done. You really, this is true. This is true. You'll be surprised of the many people who are doing things, the same thing you trying to do. You ain't the only one out there doing what you do. You ain't the only one that can cook. You ain't the only one who can sing, do poetry or whatever it is that you're good at. You're good at that. Dancing, popping, whatever it is you do. You're good at that. But guess what? There's billions of other people doing the same thing. And you know what? A wise man told me this a long time ago. He said we can get a whole lot more done if we wasn't concerned about who's going to get the credit. I don't care who gets the credit as long as it gets done. I'm fighting for this. I can't get it done, But so-and-so's fighting for the same thing. So I can't get it done where I'm at, so let me go over there and help them get it done because they doing the same thing I'm doing. And they got the aspects and they got everything in order in which they can get it done. Guess what? I'm joining their team. I don't care if they get the credit for it. I don't care if it was my idea. I don't care about that. See, that becomes, humility. Becoming humble, but you're seeing the same thing done. Sometimes in your silence, mountains are moved. Checks are being signed. Yeah. Producers are being found. Businesses are being opened. Relationships are coming together. In your silence, great things can happen. Practice keeping silent. Practice holding your peace. And yes, it does not mean that what you got to say isn't valid, true, or worthy. It just means this time, I'm going to wait because I'm going to be silent. And I'm going to wait and see what happens on my behalf. Trust it. Trust everything you stand for and know that something and someone is working on your behalf because you're bigger than that. Be blessed, be powerful, be amazing, be awesome. Most importantly, you shine like you could never shine before in this powerful light. This is Jenny O, y'all with Nuggets and Things. Take it through.